I'm going to start by showing a little clip of the show that I'm on.
I don't mean to laugh, but your friend is terrifying. She's so scary looking, and I don't think anybody's coming to rescue her. Oh no, and then your dragon got decapitated. But I love this cake so much.
The princess is a little bit scary. The eyes. Those big eyes, she just wake up.
What voice do you think your princess has? Hi guys.
If you stare in her eyes, you'll get, you could.
No, thank you. I won't do it.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Toni Bryant, and I'm the owner of Suga Mamas Confections. I'm a local here. I've been here since 2002. I'm originally from New York, so go ahead with my joke. Yeah, New York accent jokes, get them out the way. I own a dessert catering company. I'm a single mom, I'm a veteran, and I began my business as the neighborhood candy lady. There was a need that needed to be filled in my neighborhood, and I fulfilled that need. I'm originally from New York, like I stated, so I'm used to bodegas and little candy stores and things like that. If you're not familiar with that, bodegas usually carry penny candies, 10-cent ices, things that, anybody can basically afford, primarily in a lot of low-income places. So the neighborhood I was living in, the children were constantly getting in trouble for stealing because you only really have Food Lion, Kangaroo, and the candy bars, the minimum is almost 89 cents or 35 cents maybe for a bag of chips. So the children kept getting in trouble for stealing out of the stores. So I created a little thing where I was doing 25-cent candy bags and 50-cent ones, 10-cent icy, 5 cents gum. If the kids could just walk down the street and find pennies and be able to come to Miss Tony's house and get a treat or something. I rewarded the kids with candy if they got good grades. If you brought somebody, basically like marketing, I was teaching the children, if you bring somebody and refer us, then you get candy. So all the kids in the neighborhood was coming to our house. But then it became a greater need because the children got older. So now they're like, okay, we tired of this little, candy, lollipops, things like that. We need more, Miss Tony. You don't make brownies, you don't do this. So I'm like, all right, let me try. I'll start doing things. So really what pushed me was my community children, not even my peers. It was the children that needed these things. Their parents were working, they weren't home, but Miss Toni always made sure that they were able to at least get a snack or get rewarded or do something like that. If you didn't have your money, I would let you go, but there would be a fine if you didn't pay. However many days you didn't pay would be 5 cents extra. But to the kids, they didn't want to owe debt because then the other children would know, ooh, you didn't pay for your candy bag, Miss Toni this or whatever, but it just kind of instilled in the children to pay your debts. Try to make sure you honor your word and things of that nature. So I really got into this for them. Then as the need became greater, they started bringing their basketball teams over, the baseball teams. I'm like, we're going to have to do something else because I can't have all these people inside the house, all the time. So then that's when we decided, let's buy a trailer. So I have a 8x10 trailer, concession trailer. I do snow cones and popcorn, nachos, and different things like that. I still sell prepackaged goods, chips, and items of that nature. So we got that. We started doing little parties for the children in the neighborhood, and then like I said, we winded up getting a trailer. But I brought my daughter Tamiko here because she's goes to Cumberland County Schools, but she's my assistant, kind of like my PR person. So she gets us jobs and helps like spread the word amongst her friends, and they tell their parents and things like that. So that's how we were able to progress. But as far as the trailer was concerned, I didn't have enough money. Like I said, I'm a single mom, so some of the problems I have with my business is being able to, this is my sole source of income. So any business, you're supposed to take those funds and redirect them back into your business. But since this is my only source of income, it's very difficult to juggle the two. So usually something is slacking, whether I don't have the marketing materials, or I might not be able to advertise as much, or maybe even buy newer equipment that I'm supposed to have, because I don't have those funds accessible because I have to split them between my household. So tax time came, and I asked the girls, you know, what should we do? I have another daughter. And I asked them, what should we do as far as, you know, the business? Do you think we should purchase a trailer and maybe grow it and become entrepreneurs? And, you know, we work this together because my daughters work the store as well. So they would answer the door for the kids, you know, make their orders, put them in the bags and things like that. So it was a group decision or a family decision, because this is, hopefully this will be the beginning of our legacy. So the girls, we sat down, we came up with a plan, and they said, yes, let's purchase a concession trailer. So I didn't have enough money, but I just said, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and go up there. I got cash money. You know, I'm from New York, so I'm like, I'm just going to talk to the lady and see what I could do, and hopefully, you know, she'll see my vision and help me out. Well, what wound up happening was the lady spoke no English. I found her ad on Craigslist, so I never really spoke to her. I didn't know anything, and she didn't speak English. So now I'm like, oh my God, we came up here. I really don't know what to do. I'm like, you know, I can't even negotiate with her because, you know, she's like, no, you know, I need this. I need 6,000. You have, whatever you have, you know, it wasn't. She knew it wasn't enough. So I'm kind of feeling defeated. But my daughter goes to at the time E.E. Miller, and she was in the Spanish immersion program. So she goes ahead and grabs the reins and negotiates the whole deal. Yeah, at 9 years old, she negotiated the whole deal. So she tells the lady basically it's our lifelong dream, and you know that we didn't have the funds. I don't know. The lady started crying. She cried. I cried. I still don't even know what was said because I don't speak Spanish. So you know, the lady. I mean, whatever she stated to the lady, she understood because she was telling my daughter that they came from another country. Her husband that brought her to America left her with her children, and something about what she was like selling. Ices on the corner in the grocery store, and the police would throw her food out and so she understood like our plight, and she was purchasing a brick and mortar. That's why she was getting rid of the concession trailer. So it all worked out. They wound up bringing the trailer all the way to we went to Charlotte, and they brought it all the way to Fayetteville for us. No extra fees, half the price, and you know, I mean, yes, you can't ask for anything more. But I think the reason things progress for us is because we're not necessarily in it for the money. We really truly started it because I honestly was you know, embarrassed going to the store and seeing the kids getting arrested, or them standing in the front and all these adults are around them waiting for their parents to come and, pay for their debt or whatever the case. It was really saddening. So, I genuinely wanted to help the situation, and I think that's why we've been able to progress. So I started doing little things on the trailer. Same thing. People were calling the police on us, getting us moved off their property and different things like that. So I understand, but then I was on Instagram and I saw something saying, looking for a bad baker. So I'm more of a treat maker. I dip chocolate strawberries and things like that. I'm not a baker. So I said, well, let me go ahead and submit my information. The most that could happen is it could give more exposure to my business. So I submitted my information. The people loved me. They called me back and said, hey, guess what? This is a Magical Elves produced show. It's going to be one of the first reality shows on the streaming network like Hulu and Netflix. They don't have reality shows that they create themselves. And Magical Elves creates Top Chef, and they do a lot of shows on Bravo. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be all this, like that big. And they're like, we're going to fly you to Cali, and you're going to come out here, and there's an opportunity to win $10,000. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm there. Where I sign up? So I told my daughters, and they're like, yeah, Mom, you can do it. We could, we need to use this. We could build up the trailer because the trailer was dilapidated. It was a lot of things wrong with it. So we couldn't even pull it anymore because, it was so kind of rickety. So a friend of mine was letting me park in their tire shop. So we was able to still kind of keep business going. So now the trailer can't move at all. So now I have this opportunity to appear on this Netflix show. So my daughters, they're positive. They're like, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. We just want you to go and that's it. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to win. Is no doubt in my mind. They've helped me. I'm gonna come back with a win because I want my kids to feel, proud. And I'm not gonna waste this trip. So we get there, and I did. I won the $10,000. Thank you. The show is Nailed It. It's episode 2 that I'm on. And yes, I won the $10,000, and it helped our business tremendously as far as social network. Thank you, social networking and different opportunities are coming forward to us. The only thing that I think is kind of funny is the same hard work I've been putting forward all this time. Now people are like, man, I'm so proud of you. You did a great job. I'm like, you don't see nothing I do. This show is nothing to do with my business. So now I'm doing a great job because I won a contest. But I appreciate the feedback. But on the other hand, when we're sweating in the sun and lifting that 100-pound generator on the trailer and things like that, that's the hard work I want people to say, oh, you're doing a great job, or you're doing good, not in an air-conditioned studio, and I, just did my best. So those are things that kind of bother me sometimes as far as being a business owner, because a lot of times people follow the hype instead of the real, the real ethic, the real work ethic put into it. Fortunately, I've been able to do both. And I know I've seen a lot of people in this crowd, they know me from working in different restaurants or bartending or different events that I've done. I'm always working. I'm always in hospitality. Ms. Gold has been a tremendous mentor to me. Anytime I need help, I'm always calling her like, I need to do some kind of menu. What do you call this kind of menu? And she's like, remember when we was in class and it was this? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So, I appreciate being able to go back and also be able to get help, because there's people that don't even want to help you progress. I was on the cover of the newspaper, and I got the trailer rebuilt. I didn't even know when the show was coming out, so I knew that I won. I knew my money was coming. I just didn't know when. So when we was getting the trailer rebuilt from the ground up, and because we were in the paper, people started calling the health department and the Department of Agriculture, and we weren't even open for business, and trying to report us, saying that I don't even know, but the guy came down and was like, you must be famous, because I was getting calls from the health department about you. It was the guy from Raleigh, the Department of Agriculture, that came down, and he's like, the health department was even calling him about me. And I'm like, whoa, I'm just a mom trying to do some things, but right now I'm really, everything is about to be 100%, up to code the way it's supposed to. We're not even open, and already people are trying to, exactly, right, shut it down. But those are things that kind of make me go harder, and it shows my children that it doesn't matter that people, because it was supposed to turn into a negative thing. But if anybody is in the food industry, to get the guy from the Department of Agriculture to come and inspect your stuff, it takes months. So they did me a favor. They didn't even realize it. They helped me out. So I was happy, because now he's like, here's my cell phone number. Any questions you have, like, he's at my beck and call, if anything I need. So that was a blessing, so they tried to do something negative, but it turned out to be, something positive on the other hand. So, I just try to instill in my children that as long as you focus on what you need to do and stay in your lane, then you're gonna persevere, you're gonna progress, because that's the only thing that can happen. There's always gonna be things to try to knock you down or make you feel defeated. I went to a seminar with Dame Dash, who used to own Rockefeller with Jay-Z. Who's Beyonce's husband. I'm just trying to fill in the things for people that might not know. He was telling all of these, he had all these ideas, and I said ex-business partner, so I saw why after. But he had a lot of ideas, and the reason for the event was to help small business owners find funding or other ways to create money for your business. So I'm like, yes, this is a great opportunity. His son owned a cookie company. So I was like, this will be my way to try to rub elbows. Maybe I could talk to him and he could maybe become an angel investor or something. I go there and I'm like, my main problem, the same thing I'm telling you, the household money and my business money is the same income. And he's like, don't worry, it'll come. Your time's up. Next person. I'm like, what? I waited all this time, listened to his nonsense, and he's like, the money's gonna come. But it really does. Like, at first I kept like pulling my hair, like, what are we gonna do? I just need to quit this, dream and just really get a job, and just work and just try to pay my bills and stuff like that. And then I just was like, after a while I was just tired of that, because every time I work a traditional job, I lose focus of my business. And that sets me, however long I work for that company, that set me back that plus some. Yeah. From what I was trying to do. So I just sat down and was like, you know what, forget it. This dude is not trying to help me. He not even trying to give me no insight. I'm going to just try to figure this out on my own. And sure enough, the money is coming. I won $10,000. Now that we on the show, every weekend we have events. Things are, really doing a lot better for us. And I know it's because of the show, but it's also because of the work ethic that I put in, so I don't want to diminish that fact, but the show is really why people are calling, asking us to come. and things like that. So I am grateful for that opportunity and for the show. What they did, when I went out there, my narrative was single mom, business on, black single mom, business owner, trying to make it, typical story. But when the show aired, they didn't mention my children. They listed me as a small business owner, showcased my truck. They didn't have to do any of that. But I think they saw my passion. They saw everything. And that's a whole lot more better for my business than the typical sad, I need help because I have kids story, So that makes me and my children more proud that we're labeled as a small business owner on a worldwide, not just national, show. This is worldwide. We get people from Brazil, all over now inboxing us like, we love you. If you have to watch the episode to see, like, I broke down crying, of course, because all I could think is I did it. I told my kids I was going to do it. I don't want to cry now. I told my kids that I was going to do it, and I did it, and I brought the win home, and I knew they were going to be proud of me, but I couldn't say nothing because of the non-disclosure too. So everything is so crazy because I won. I couldn't say anything. I had to keep it a secret. Now everybody knows. So now I'm happy all over again. And then it's like I had to wait for my check because the show aired March 9th. Then I had to wait for my check. So I still was like, I'm kind of happy, but I'm broke. But then the check finally came, and now, we got the trailer redone. We've invested in some marketing things. I got an edible printer. Like, now our business is getting ready to really blow. Like, I know it. We'll be able to put, if you have a small business, we can put your logo on cupcakes or cookies now. I have a Cricut. I brought a Cricut. I'll be able to do shirts, events, different things. So all of the money I really reinvested into our business. I bought laptops, different things that we needed, hotspots, so that we can go ahead and take that opportunity. $10,000 is not a lot of money at all, but it helped create a stable job for me now. Now the trailer is up and running. I bought a truck to haul a trailer, so I don't have to worry about the truck breaking down, which was happening as well. So it really helped me. So now we'll have a steady source of income instead of, hoping somebody calls, or maybe, Miss Gold shared my post and a friend might look on there or something like that. So, okay, those are all of my stories. Okay, my goals eventually, of course, is to get a brick and mortar. I would love to get a brick and mortar along the lines of like a sugar factory, where you have adult drinks and candy items, but you can also have something with, where your kids are able to get a root beer float too. You can have an adult root beer float and your kids can have a child's root beer float. But just something to create memories. That's what my whole business is really about. How I got the name Suga Mamas Confections is the person I was renting a home from came, and he's like, all the kids was on the porch, and he's like, what are you, what's going on? I was like, I'm the candy lady. He said, oh, you my sugar mama. So I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna use that, sugar mama, because everybody called, that's, Mama Toni or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I could be Suga Mamas Confections. The reason I use confections instead of sweets or treats. First of all, everybody and their mother use sweets or treats to describe sweets and treats. So confections is a wide anything with sugar. So I'd rather that I use that word. Yes, it might be harder to pronounce, or might take up more space on my logo or things like that, but at least it's making people use their mind, because then you're wondering, what if you don't already know what is confection? Then that might make you look it up. So, I try to do things with these people are still learning too. Let's see. gonna create a nonprofit, hopefully this year that'll be up and running. Possibly franchise the trailers, where maybe other single moms or single parents, not just moms, but single parents maybe be able, because there's a lot of candy ladies in a lot of neighborhoods, and maybe help them see that it can really be a business, not just a side hustle. It's really a business. Create an online store. I'm gonna create a YouTube channel soon. I have a lot of events coming up, so y'all will see me. There's a paint and sip shop coming up Saturday for Mother's Day, downtown on Gillespie. If you follow my page, I'll give you all the information. You'll see that. We'll be out there. That's this weekend. There's a local radio guy. I can't say everything, but he's launching a podcast. Will be his first interview on that podcast. So we have a lot of things coming up. So I want to kind of keep my little 15 minutes of fame going so that, I can get as much out of it as I can, and try to, create maybe some teen jobs, for the summer for the kids or different things. My ultimate goal is to become self-sufficient. Like I said, I am a single mom, so I'm a veteran as well. We've been on every kind of government assistance program there is, because sometimes, things are hard. So my goal is to be self-sufficient, where not just where me and my children are off the system, where hopefully the next few generations that we have don't have to even know what the system is to get on that. That's my ultimate goal. Create a legacy my children to be proud of, and like I said, create a legacy that's beyond my children's children. I have a friend that just married this guy. He's a billionaire. I swear this is the truth. She married the guy. He's a billionaire. And I was just talking to her, and she's like, yeah, because she still works as a realtor. And he's like, she said all of her money, she can't spend anything. He has her on a strict budget. And she's like, well, our family, we have a trust that's for the next 300 years. That's not this generation, next generation, the next generation. 300 years, I can't even imagine. Not everybody lives to be 100. So imagine how many generations of their family is okay. When she told me that, I was like, I'm talking about taking care of my kids. Who the hell? They already here. Damn them. We need to worry about more than them, So I'm like, okay, we need to, go to the next level. So that's where my mindset is. And I want to hopefully do that for other people, help other families, help, other people create wealth for their future generations to come, not the ones that you actually see and hear right now in this realm. Now, some of the problems that I have that I mentioned already, being a business owner, is, like I said, sharing my monies between my household and my business. That is something that is a big struggle, but that's going to continue until I get to a certain level where I can pay myself as the owner, and then start putting stuff aside for different things. So that should be coming very soon. It's easy. Another problem is it's easy to become stagnant. A lot of times when it's just you and you're the only person formulating these plans, and other people don't see your vision at all. They're just telling you, you got kids to take care of. You need to get a job. You need to forget about that dream and get a job. Sometimes, if I was trying out for the WNBA, that would be good advice, because I'm definitely not athletically fit. That's just something I would not be able to do. But if it's something that is tangible and you really believe that you can obtain it, then keep pursuing it. It might be hard and a struggle, but not for so long, not long. I set up a 5-year goal for myself, and we're on year 3. So I think, things are going the way that they're supposed to be going. Let's see. Sometimes another problem is you don't get a lot of support because people think you're really just not doing anything and that you need to get a job. With a small budget, it's hard to launch your business right out the gate. And I mean, like, the legitimacy of it. You might not have the money to get the insurances and the whatever licenses and things like that you might necessarily need in the beginning. But that doesn't mean not to do your dream, but you just have to find other means. Like I said, when Dame Dash told me the money will come, I really didn't understand it, but I think he was just basically saying if you continue and persevere, and stay on the right track, that it will eventually come. Don't go because one thing is not working, don't jump to the next thing, because that's how that last opportunity is going to fail. And that's what I've been doing, trying to stay straight on to my path, so that I'll be able to grow. Okay, so it's time for me to wrap it up. My business name is Suga Mamas Confections, SUGA, not sugar. Mamas. It's Suga Mamas Faye NC on Instagram and Facebook. You can watch me on Netflix, Nailed It, episode 2. Also, I have some flyers up here for our popular items that we make. I also brought some samples of some breakfast desserts that you all could sample. And I guess that's it. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me or if I answered anything.
You said you wasn't a baker when you went on the show and you had to bake. So what's the first thing you had to make?
Donuts. Oh. Yeah. But the trick is on the show is based off of Pinterest fails. You look at Pinterest and say, I could do that, but you can't. So that's basically what the show is. So you have to make the donut the way they want it. So even if you can make a donut, you might not be able to do it that exact way. So that's the fun in the show. Yes. But my stuff is edible though. I'm not a horror. I can bake. I'm just not a baker with fondant and all of that fancy stuff. Lastly too. So after the show too, y'all gotta look on my page. I went to New York because I'm from New York, so I've been getting events up there, and we did. I met Jacques Torres, who is he's like the Diddy of chocolate. I didn't know that while he was on the show. He's a judge. But he started showing me his things. He owns a chocolate museum. He owns a 40,000 square foot warehouse, only chocolate. He makes his own chocolate production, like really Willy Wonka. So I'm kind of glad I didn't know all of that before I went on the show, because I probably would have been a mess. Because I had the nerve to say on there that he and I were both chocolatiers. The nerve.
Flash the pictures of his stuff and your stuff.
Oh God, yes, it was so embarrassing. Yes. But thank y'all for your time. Just keep trucking whatever you're doing. And hopefully we all could do some business together.
We still have some time for some questions.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, anybody else have questions? Yes.
Is the trailer up and running now?
I got to get the lights, the brake lights. We should be having it running Saturday. Saturday should be our first event. So when I leave here, I have to take the trailer to somebody an electrician because the connection from the truck and the trailer is not working.
But people can find out where you're going to be on your Facebook page.
Yes. We'll keep all of our, we'll start, putting our different locations and events and different things like that. All of our menus, because those are things I definitely have to work on, because daycare centers, it's a different menu for a daycare center and a wedding. I would never charge a daycare what I would charge somebody, at a wedding, because, I try to keep everything low price. Hi. Yes.
You mentioned blending your household and your business money, and that can be a problem for a lot of home-based businesses, right?
Yes.
So are you consulting an accountant? Do you have someone that can keep you straight on that?
That will be in the near future when we get some revenue. Right now, it's like, you borrow from Peter to pay Paul to try to even make anything happen, but that's definitely something in the future that I'm going to be doing.
To follow up with that, are you aware of the free small business center
Yes.
we have upstairs that give advice for free? Did I mention it for free?
Yes.
How much is it?
Believe it or not, the services upstairs at the Small Business Center are free for anyone who just comes and asks.
Right.
And they can assist you with these things. My question to you is this. I know you're doing the social media. I know you're writing the Netflix stuff. What else are you doing to market your business? Because there are a lot of people who still don't know you're out there.
Exactly. Right. I guess really word of mouth and just doing different events. I know once the trailer really gets out and going, that's almost like a huge advertisement in itself. Because, people see, because it's pink and purple, it's big and very colorful. So that draws a lot of attention. So I'm hoping that will as well gain us more business.
Do you have a written business plan?
I just got together with somebody. It should be done next week. My whole business plan, finally. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And I had to do that for a my nonprofit too. Yes.
I heard you was affiliated with Fayetteville Tech, and I know Ms. Cole is a great resource to have because she owns her own restaurant.
Yes.
So she could kind of mentor you and tell you some obstacles.
Has been. Oh,
So
yes.
You should really use those resources. I heard she was a nice lady too. So
Yes. I always.
I also told her about the free business center upstairs.
Yes. Honestly, yes, definitely. I did. I don't know how to. Utilize the free businesses. Yes. Okay.
Why did you choose Suga Mama Fayetteville NC for your Instagram and Facebook?
Well, when I did I was going to do Suga Mamas Confections for it, and then so many people couldn't spell confections for the Facebook and Instagram, and it wasn't, for some reason it just wasn't popping up. So I did the Faye NC, and then it seemed like we got a lot of traffic for, I guess, when people look up North Carolina or Faye. So it kind of helps with our page get noticed more than with the confection.
Yeah, I looked at your page. I looked it up already, and I did not put in the confection. I did just put in Suga Mama's
Faye and C.
I didn't put all that in. No, I pulled in Suga Mama's just to see what happened, how many people pull up. And yeah, there was quite a few Suga Mamas.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So I just wanted to share, I wrote this on the page, but you might not see it. I said, I love how she just jumped into her business, not having figured it all out, and want you to know that by faith you will succeed. And I just want to share a scripture with you that God says the hand of the diligent shall bear rule. So as you said, if you just continue to be diligent and you're putting the needed things in place, but I'm just really inspired by your story, and
Thank
I just
you.
encourage you to keep going. I'm very proud of what you're doing. Look to see great things.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes.
One of the things that I heard in your story and your speaking, of course, is the passion. The other thing I heard too was the desire for growth.
Yes.
And growth with many different legs. That's also like, it's a catch-22 because growth can be a great thing.
Right.
And if our foundation isn't structurally sound, it could be the very thing that breaks us. So as the food for thought that I put out there that I'm also thinking about too is what type of growth do I want to have, and then what are the layers that I'll begin to scale my business in. Because like the business, the nonprofit, the truck, all those are pulling resources before the foundational thing is built.
Right, definitely. Yes, I appreciate that. And right now the truck is the primary foundation, and that's what the money from the show went to. Because like you said, you can't be everywhere. Because if you don't focus on just one thing, so that is what I have been primarily sticking on. I just mentioned those other things to know that they'll go hand in hand, and basically to look forward to it. Yes, thank you. Any other questions?
Have you ever met with somebody else, other company, businesses that said, yeah, you could come, and we would like to definitely have you come as a vendor, food truck vendor, so we can know that you'd be here once a month or something like that?
Yes, those things are happening now. We're actually going to be having our desserts in Fat Daddy's. They'll have 2 locations. They're opening up one in Dunn. So when that launches, that's where we'll be there. And there's also a restaurant going to open on the on the Murchison Road called Susie's, and they'll be open, and we'll also be providing the desserts in that place as well. Yes. So yeah, it's like you said, it's a lot of legs, and it's happening fast, but I'm not letting none of them go. You know what I'm saying? So whatever stream of income is coming, I'm on that. Right, right there. So wholesaling is another thing, but that'll be easy to once the money start coming in, I can easily just give my recipes to a person to bake. That could be outsourced. A lot of things that I won't necessarily work in the truck, I don't have to be the person on the truck. I can let somebody else work the truck. So those are things that I could still be in multiple places at one time. And I also own a mobile bartending company too.
But I'm going to have to chime in up front with, you're still new and young, and you need to focus before you start branching out, because right now it sounds like you're kind of all over the place.
Yes.
And before you jump to bricks and mortar, remember, right now you can go to wherever the business is, as opposed to sitting in a building paying overhead.
Which is why I got the trailer. Yep.
So before you jump that back way, I would encourage you to cultivate and grow what you have.
Definitely.
Because when I go places where there's food trucks, there are very few competitors with you.
Right.
They have entrees and snacks, but they don't have what you have.
Right.
I think you have found a nice little niche that I would grow, and like she said, start to build your foundation. Because if you're all over the place, you're not focusing and growing to what really is right now making you truly unique.
Right.
So I would just encourage you to consider what she said.
Yes, thank you. Definitely. And that is why I started with the food trailer as opposed to a brick and mortar first, because I wouldn't have to pay the rent and the utilities and things like that. So that was my main reason as to going. My first goal was to get a brick and mortar, but my finances showed me to start with a trailer.
But I think that was a good thing, because it shows you a niche that you have that not many people have right now.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Any other questions?
Let's thank Toni, and I have one last question that I always take. Last question: what can this community do to help you?
As far as the community, I believe the community could help me by, of course, word of mouth. It's a lot of things.
Tell them to hire you.
Huh?
Buy from her.
Yes, buy from me, right. Buy from me, word of mouth. Yes. Follow my page. The community, follow my page. Yes.
And to help her sell, and so you want to hire her, she does have some samples that if you want to pass out now. Linda, where'd you go, Linda? So wants to tell us what's going on in Fayetteville this week. So if you